Nick Cannon. This is something y'all asked me about. Apparently, Nick Cannon got 7 kids. 7 of them. So, people been talking about Nick Cannon, and they were like, he needs to wrap it up and all this kind of stuff. I look at it totally differently. I do. Nick Cannon got 7 kids. He got multiple baby mamas. But for me, I feel like that's that man's business. And another thing is, people like to try to say, because this is what I want my family to look like, this is what family should look like. Nick Cannon got money to take care of his damn kids. All right, we know he got that. Because Nick got more bread than most people, 10 times, 20 times more bread than most people. Probably more than that, but Nick is doing well financially. Also, Nick says, hey, I'm having these kids on purpose. I love kids. It's what I want to do. I think what happens a lot of times is people like to say, this is my vision of what a family is supposed to look like. This is how I think it's supposed to go. And the funny thing about it is, people say that when their ideal family hasn't worked out multiple times also. Oh, people need to get married, as if they don't get divorced. This is what I hate about statistics. People go, oh, well, 70% of these children are born out of wedlock. These black kids are born out of wedlock. That doesn't mean they don't have fathers. That means that the parents are not married. Maybe that's not what they wanted to do. Some of them don't. And I know in some people's experience, they're like, oh, well, my kids are born out of wedlock and they don't have a father. So that means everybody else is going through the same thing. No, that's you. That doesn't mean that's everybody. That may even be everybody you know. But that doesn't mean everybody. You don't know everybody. You don't know 1 million people. You know what I mean? You don't even know 1 million people. And that's just a fraction of just even the population of black people. So when I look at the Nick Cannon thing, man, if Nick want to have 50 kids and he can support them to the level of whatever it is that him and the mothers agree upon, if they can have a good family that they're building, then good for them, man. Because at the end of the day, there's been this whole thing to demonize people having children. And I think that I think that that's an agenda. And I think that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, if you want to have kids and you can, especially if you can work something out where they can have parents, you know what I mean, where they can have both parents. They don't got to be in the same house. They got whatever it is. But I'm saying, just actually be able to have access to both parents, then that's great. That's great. If they can be taken care of, they don't got to be rich. People say, oh, well, somebody poor shouldn't have kids. Why not? Poor people become successful. Yeah, it's easier to be successful if you're middle class or rich. But hey, there's a lot of people who balling out right now who came from nothing. So, that's one of those situations where I think Nick got a right to have his kids. If you want to have, like I said, if you want to have 50 of them, why does it matter? People telling that man to wrap it up when he doing what he wants to do. He's not complaining. He's not asking anybody for money to raise his kids. So, hey, do you. But all I would ask Nick not to do is to have his kids rap. That's all I would say. Like, Nick, if you can not have your children rap, then that would be a blessing to all the rest of us. It's up to you. It's up to you. But if you could not have those kids rapping, that's the only thing I would say. Let's see. Chaz, how to get a high value man? Leave his long-term pretty... Oh, I'm sorry. How to get a high value man to leave his long-term pretty spouse to be with me? Is it possible? I'm not a hater. Look, whatever you want to do in life, that's your right. You talking uphill battle. Cause you said long term and she's pretty also. If she was falling off, it'd probably be a lot easier. But if she's staying good looking too, and you said long term, which means they may not have a prenup. That's an uphill battle, man. I'm gonna be real with you. That's an uphill battle. Because the dude is gonna go with the familiar most of the time. She got to be messing up. She got to help you out. The only thing you could do there, and this is for women, look, what I'm about to tell her, y'all can also take the other side of this. If you're trying to get somebody to leave their long-term spouse and the spouse is still banging, she still look good, the only way you generally going to be able to do that is to get her to take herself out the picture. That's it. So both sides of this, think about this from both sides. If you try to like some pictures of his, if he's on Instagram or Facebook, if you try to send him some messages on his phone and stuff like that, if the wife start tripping on him and start arguing with him and fussing and fighting with him over stuff like that, then you might have a chance. If the wife is like, I don't care nothing about these silly hoes, well, probably not gonna work out. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, you might want to try someone else. But that's usually the way to do it, is to get them to take themselves out. Cause you'd be surprised, man. If you just throw a little bit of pressure on some women, they will take themselves out the game. They'll make that relationship so unbearable for a dude that you could probably get them. But if they ain't doing it, but if she's not cooperating, it's not gonna work. Pops, I'm hurt. She done left me, man. What you think I should do? Boy, back in my day, all you had to do was go to her job and you cry and you get down on your knees. You beg and plead for her sympathy. I'm telling you, boy, that's all you gotta do. Pops, you talking about stalking her. That's a crime now. Yo, it's your man, ChazzEllis. And I know y'all tired of getting the same old 1965 game that never works. Well, click the link below and check out 9 ways to get your ex back. This is cold-hearted game where I give you different techniques to turn the tables on your ex and get them chasing you for a change.